Hey, Joe Gilder here. Welcome to another episode of Behind the EP. We're going to dive into the second track in Frankie Barranco's EP, Still. Now, if you're wondering, I probably didn't spell this out too well in the last video. I produced this EP. I also recorded everything but the drums. The drums were recorded at Tim Horsley's place. Everything else was recorded here in my place. I also mixed and mastered it, so I had my hands in it a lot, and I played a few of the instruments as well. So this is the song Still, and if you've heard the full album version, it's a pretty rocking song. I mean, by the time we get to that final chorus, it's pretty cool.
Some days I'm fighting just to get out of bed.
So from early on, Spencer, who played almost all the guitars on the EP, who is also Frankie's husband, wanted it to have kind of a Coldplay vibe at the end of the song. So that, open up your eyes, whatever that goes. So that's what we're going for by the end of it. And the song came together pretty well. What was interesting about this song is the original, let me see if I can find them. The original scratch vocal and guitar, which if you're not familiar with that, that's just the first time they came in the studio and the first time I heard these songs, they just recorded an acoustic and a vocal so we could hear what the song sounds like. So the song originally sounded like this, especially on the intro. Helps if you turn things up, Joe.
17, I watched you go. And 20.
So it had that sort of vibe to it, right? And we knew that we weren't sure if we wanted acoustic on this song at all, actually. We thought we wanted it to be all electric. And so we can hide those tracks, don't need them anymore. And so originally we recorded, let me see here, recorded a couple of electrics playing that intro. So the first part of that is just guitar and vocal. So here's what we laid down.
17, I watched you.
So the drums come in as well. So this essentially, the next to last version of this song, really close to the end of the project actually, sounded like this.
"17, I watched you go. And 23, I'm still missing home."
So we just felt, as the more we worked on it, the more we messed around with it. Sorry, I've got this glare from the sun and I can't see my buttons here. Okay, I've got a book propped up to hold it up. Anyway, we eventually just got there and said there's something, it just didn't feel big enough. It felt a little too weak there. And we thought about retracking the guitars with more of a jung, 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 jung. But I just felt like that, the rest of the song, especially like even this pre-chorus sounds great.
Sometimes it feels like a disease, a cancer taking me so slowly.
I really like that part, but there was something about the intro of guitars that I just didn't love. So the last day of recording vocals, I said, Frankie, take a second, take a break. I'm going to grab my guitar and set up a couple of mics and just did 2 quick passes on acoustic, just a really straight junkin, 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 junkin rhythm. So instead of down strums, jump, 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 I did more of just a up and down, bum, 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 kind of more of a folky kind of rhythm. But that seemed to tie things together, and that's what the final intro sounds like, which is this. So it feels like, especially this is the second song on the EP, the first one was just acoustic guitar and cello. To switch over to electric, jung, 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 felt a little weird too. So having this transition where this song's much bigger than the previous song, but it starts with just a couple of acoustics, which makes it feel a little bit better of a transition. Also, these are same acoustic guitar, but one capoed up high, one played down low. So that gives us the extra cool voicings, one panned left. So that one's, I think, open, and then this one's capoed up really high. And those are kind of the fun literally, we were probably a week away from our deadline to finish the mixes, and we were doing final vocal takes, and we knocked that out real quick, and it worked out real nicely. So the song progresses. You get the pre-chorus, and we got those electric guitars come in, and then the first chorus is where we introduce some of the more of the cool parts. Like this third electric guitar part is really the kind of the hook of the instrumental section. So from a production standpoint, you may remember these initial electric guitars are pretty clean. And that was intentional. When we were tracking them, I said, let's just take off distortion and have it be a really clean sound. And that with the lead part sounded pretty cool. But it still didn't hit quite hard enough. So after we tracked guitars and I'd worked on other tracks, I ended up adding another guitar. Just real chunky and kind of over the top, and that's in the middle. So the two clean guitars are panned out to left and right. The lead guitar's up the middle, and you don't really hear this one in the mix. Like you wouldn't say, oh, there's a third guitar in the middle with a really nice aggressive tone. It more just kind of fills out the sound without really being heard that much. Here's what that sounds like all together. Just adds a little more thickness in the middle, a little more aggressiveness in the middle, which I thought was helpful. And actually, I was in an attempt to continue to make this song big. On the second chorus, I had that guitar, and then I added in another guitar up high, I believe, with a wrong note there that made it all the way into the final. And as if that wasn't enough, I actually added a really over-the-top fuzz guitar part, which sounded like this. And the idea was, obviously, it wouldn't be very prominent. It would be pretty buried in the mix, but it would just help make it a little bigger. And I really wanted it to work because I thought a sweet song like this with that fuzz guitar would just be hilarious. But in the end, as you can see, that track is muted. All of that is gone. We ended up not using that track at all. It ended up making it sound too cluttered and too indistinct, so we got rid of it. So it's always good if you think it might work, go ahead and add it. You can always take it away later. Don't go nuts, but we added 3-4 more guitars, and one of them got cut by the end. That feels okay to me. And by the final chorus, we've brought in. I played a Rhodes part, which is real simple. Pretty much in the back, nothing crazy there. And so by the final chorus is where we get the biggest, and that's where we Spencer added in a few more heavy guitars. With a bad edit right there. Again, no one heard it in the mix, so we're good. And then we added in another. This was one I just set the fuzz all the way up and just played a high note with a lot of reverb. And that added just even more sound to this final chorus that I think worked pretty well. So all in, we ended up with a pretty huge sound by that final chorus.
Some days I'm fighting just to get out of bed. I still miss you.
And of course, the foundation for the whole thing, drums and bass. This is what the drums sound like. Didn't have to do a lot to the drums. These are recorded at Tim Horsley's place. If you want to hire Tim, you should. TimHorsley.com. But I did minimal processing, and the drums sound great. And then, of course, bass was played by my brother-in-law, Joel Bazaire. You should hire him as well. I got a couple of bad edits there that I missed. That's super embarrassing. Oh, well. So he just had this big, massive tone that when combined with the drums just felt amazing. Bring everything else in.
I still miss you. I still miss you. Oh, it drives me insane. I still miss you.
Such a cool song and a fun second track on the EP. In the next episode, we'll move into a song, Sing Along, which more of you may know because we actually mixed it as a part of Dueling Mixes, but you'll have to wait until the next episode to hear that. In the meantime, there's links below to check out this EP. Go buy it, go listen to it. Make sure you follow Frankie on Facebook, and you can follow me while you're there as well. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. See ya.